Hi, it's Michael and David here, presenting Small Business Banter. A healthy micro and small business sector means a successful economy and a more vibrant society. Small Business Banter is about helping regional business owners to prepare for the current challenges and also for the next stage of business success. I'm Michael Kerr, founder of Kerr Capital, advisors to business owners. Each week with David Gregory, CEO of the Small Business Mentoring Service, we'll interview a different small business expert or a fellow business owner and operator. And they're going to share their best tips and insights for you, the listener. Small Business Banter is brought to you from the studios of 104.7 Gippsland FM and heard across Australia on the Community Radio Network. Thanks also to our supporters, Kerr Capital and the Small Business Mentoring Service. Taking a twist or a turn today, my co-host David Gregory is the CEO of the Small Business Mentoring Service, and after now 5 or 6 episodes into the series, we've talked to we've talked to 4 or 5 people that know a lot about small business, but the focus of today's episode is to outline exactly what Small Business Mentoring Service does for small business owners, and we're going to get David, my co-host, to talk about the service. Just before I start, though, to put it into context, David is the CEO also of the Small Business Institute, an offshoot of the Small Business Mentoring Service. He's presented and recognised at the United Nations to do with the Sustainable Development Goals, drafting thereof. He's also Vice Chair of the Small Enterprise Association of Australia and New Zealand. The Small Business Mentoring Service has been mentoring for 35 years, so over 100 mentors nationally. That's a big organisation, David. Welcome in.
Thanks very much. The organisation is an extraordinary beast. We have mentors in most states. We currently operate nationally, and in particular as a result of COVID, we now offer all of our mentoring online as well as offline. Our mentors are predominantly retired or semi-retired business people that simply want to give something back to the sector that's allowed them some success in life. And we currently are looking for more mentors, and in particular we're looking for more mentors in regional areas, those that have had the skills of running a successful business and think that they could impart some of their wisdom to small businesses in their area.
Yeah, so there's, I had an involvement going back some time with the Small Business Mentoring Service. A lot of really experienced people who care about other small businesses. So do you want to give just a little bit of a picture of the kind of people that business owners could access as mentors through the service?
Sure. We have an incredible range of mentors. Our youngest mentor is 32. We have mentors that go right through to captains of industries, people that have been CEOs, managing directors of medium-sized organisations through to large ones. We have financiers, those that are involved in digital or online areas. Pretty much any area of business, we have a mentor that can assist. In fact, when a small business goes to the SBMS website, they can access a mentor and choose a mentor based on skill, industry, location, and even language. We have 28 different languages that our mentors cover as well. So in doing so, they can find a mentor that exactly aligns with their particular business need.
Right. And the underpinning of the service is that it's free to low cost. Is that?
Yeah, there's a combination of ways that people can access the service. First of all, people can organically find us online and go to our sbms.org.au website. There they can choose for a mentor, and at substantially subsidised rate, they can have that mentor come and work with them face-to-face or have one-to-one over phone, Zoom, other internet means. Alternately, there are 2 mobile business centres in Victoria that we provide mentoring support through, and we also run a number of programs through local government, state government and federal government. Many of these are independently funded. We also provide programs through industry groups, and in fact many chambers of commerce, industry associations also have SBMS deliver mentoring to their members.
Does that include local government, economic development?
Sure.
Departments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a substantial amount of work with economic development areas. We also do a lot of work within bushfire impacted areas, flood, disaster support type areas, as well as businesses currently impacted by COVID. And in fact, very clearly, many businesses would be seeking advice as to how they do anything from accessing funds or support through to their own mental health and management of their staff offline.
Okay, so at unusual times, as we've said a few times on this series. So, what are the sort of things that the owners are reaching out about specifically at the moment? Is there any sort of pattern or trend?
It always comes back to 3 key categories. It's always finance, marketing and planning. Now, within those 3, there are iterations. So within marketing, because of what's happening, we have a greater call for going online, for businesses seeking to take their products from being perhaps a retail premise to an online environment, or for them to explore opportunities to run their business more from home than they ever used to. That's on that side. They also seek advice on financial matters as to how to manage their cash flow, how to attract more customers, how to make more profit out of their individual products, perhaps how to explore new markets to export or to target a different sector than they have in the past, and right through to planning to say, this is where we are today, where do we want to be 5 years' time, next week, next month, next year, all of those sort of things as well. The mentor's role there in those instances is to be able to give clarity and to give the tools and templates in bite-sized pieces that allows a business to manage their business better. Right.
So there's a real opportunity for owners who are struggling with, could be any number of issues when you're running a small business. You've been in small business, the same, and it's pick an issue sometimes, isn't it? It's like, what am I going to tackle today? But would you be encouraging owners who are completely overwhelmed or unclear about what they should focus on just to ring one of the mentors and have a discussion to help clear the air and sort of, start to figure out some of the things they should be working on?
Sure. We have businesses all the time booking in for a session to sit down with the mentor to talk about anything from pre-startup to starting a business, to running their existing business, to responding to disaster or challenges, right through to exiting a business. So any stage throughout the life cycle of a business, there are mentors that can align. And what's also particularly interesting is that we have 180 mentors. We don't have one mentor 180 times. There are 180 different mentors with different backgrounds, different skills and industries that they've worked in. So if a business works with a mentor and they have met the needs that they were initially looking at, they can then look to transfer to an alternate mentor at any time in order to address another aspect of their business.
So within the network of 180 advisors, there's a well understood process of handing off. Is it where I'm out of my immediate domain expertise or area, and you should go talk to Mary or Jim?
In fact, the mentor would facilitate that. So one of the great joys of SBMS is that the mentors in many cases are retired or semi-retired, or they've reached a level in their life where they want to give back. And as such, they don't have really an ego in the space. So if they're working down a pathway and they have moved out of the area of their expertise, they're more than happy to facilitate transfer over to somebody else who has great expertise in that space.
Yeah, look, I think you and I both strongly agree that the having a successful and a vibrant small business sector is key to the economy.
Absolutely.
Big businesses employ a lot of people, but at any one point in time, they can let go of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of uncertainty about jobs long term and investment long term. So, we're championing the idea that people in small business should do everything they can to make their business more viable, so they can pass it on. And I think that and even more so in regional areas, that losing a business that's viable but hasn't got a transition plan is it affects the business, but also affects the community.
It is hugely impactful. I look at small businesses as being the village. That when we look at regional communities in particular, that an individual business can be the pivot point for a whole community. That in cases of bushfire and disaster, if you don't have the local supermarket, the local newsagent, the local petrol station, the local fish and chip shop, all of those sort of things, they're the places that hold a community together. I also would say that small business isn't the engine room of the economy, it is the economy. When we look at what percentage it represents, well north of 90% of all businesses are small. So when that's the case, we have to nurture those businesses. We don't get big business without medium, and we don't get medium without small.
Yeah, excellent. Well said, David. We are talking to David Gregory, the CEO of the Small Business Mentoring Service. One of the things that I've always likened, like the idea of, is championing the idea that even a micro business is still a proper business. It's not everybody has to create a business that is going to be large or a unicorn in internet startup terms. So, people can get a lot of satisfaction, financial reward out of, if it's by choice, to run a micro business, no employees,
Absolutely,
as well as if they want to scale. So you're there through the service to support those sorts of micro businesses as well as small and medium.
Absolutely, it is a misconception that people go into small business to become the next Bill Gates. Most often, a person goes into small business because they want to have the independence of that small business. They want to create an environment for their family. They also like eating 3 times a day. So they want to make an income that will support them and their family in the lifestyle that they have. Having said that, I would suggest that small businesses are the hardest working people. If you looked at their hourly rate, it would be minuscule in relation to perhaps other roles. But the opportunities to be the master of your own destiny in small business is huge, and it is the cornerstone of every regional community. Yeah, and as we touched on earlier, it's not just about your business. You're part of the commercial infrastructure of a regional town or a regional economy. And so where do you think the investment or the support should go for small business owners specifically? What areas do you think need targeting more? Well, there's a broad church in this space. When I look at what small businesses need to focus on, they need to look at their direction and how they can become sustainable. They need to look at how they can
adapt. Financially sustainable.
Yeah, financially sustainable. But how they can adapt to the new road. Now, it's been a discussion as to what the road ahead is going to be like post-COVID. In my view, the new road is a different road. It doesn't mean it's a worse road. It's a different one. So businesses can explore opportunities to redefine their business and their direction, and they can seek mentoring advice as to how they can go about doing it. One of the great challenges for small businesses is that they don't know what they don't know. So they need to bring in expertise that can give them some shining lights, some direction as to the paths that they can take. And getting a mentor, getting an advisor, or getting consultants are ways that you can start to explore that space. So that's a really wise investment for people to make. Independent of that, I think there is a great opportunity for businesses to work more collaboratively. And I think the new road is going to be that opportunity. That in the past, a business can be in a main street and never visit the other businesses in that main street. I think the road ahead is where we cross-promote, where a business, particularly in a regional area, not only promotes their own goods, but they promote the other regional attractions, the other regional businesses, the other tourism opportunities, and similarly getting those other regional attractions and opportunities to promote them.
Is that a bit like that golden mile of cars analogy?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what dealership, if you've got 10 of them, in the on the Nepean Highway or wherever, the Hume Highway, that you're going to get more people. So the collaborative thing is about then sort of lifting up out of what your particular business does to the attractions of the area, the region, the other businesses in town as a place to holiday. It seems that based on a call we had with Joe Palmer, regional businesses, many of them are gearing up for some really buoyant times ahead.
I think there is absolutely huge opportunities within regional areas. I think there's also a reality that's going to be with us for quite some time. The fact that we've had challenges with border closures, people are going to want to shop at home, they're going to want to buy local, they're going to want the experiential components of regional towns where they can go to the main street of a town and have a cheese platter and a glass of wine at the local winery, and they can buy the local artisan type products, as well as experience the reason why people move into those regional areas in the first place, the true beauty of the Australian regional areas. Yeah,
certainly challenging right now, but it seems that using your time well, if you are impacted in your business right now, there is an opportunity to start to think about the medium or the longer term, what you need to do in your business and how you might need to restructure, or change it. So that's where your mentors play a very big role. Do you, as an organisation, cross-pollinate or deal with other similar services, or do you want to talk a bit about some of those partnerships you have that could help owners?
Sure. We work very closely with pretty much all of the regulators and agencies. In particular, I can highly recommend and support the small business commissioners in each state. The opportunities that they provide in mediation of commercial leases and things like that are huge, and they are extremely low cost but very, very successful. Similarly, we work with the BEC network, the Business Enterprise Centres. We work with the ACCC, ASIC, Fair Work Ombudsman, ATO, all of those agencies, and can provide advice within that space. We also work collaboratively with Beyond Blue and Red Cross, the agencies that really look after people at times of crisis.
Excellent. Yeah. You were a small business owner yourself.
I have
prior
been.
To becoming an executive of a small business organisation. Do you want to share a little bit about some of the experience and how it informed what you do now and your empathy for the small business owner?
Sure. At one stage, I was involved with Coles Myer and was advertising manager there. And I went out on my own, and my primary customer was the organisation I had left. When they decided to go in-house, I almost went bankrupt. So I fully recognise that if you're in small business, you will have fear of your letterbox at some stage. I had that. Now, post that, my wife and I imported eelskin products out of Korea, perfume out of Provence. We had a education business. We were doing computer-based training. So we've had quite an eclectic background in small business. I've been with the Small Business Mentoring Service for now almost 13 years. And it's an absolute joy. I get to work with people that have been absolute champions in their businesses, but they're also the sorts of people that have walked the walk, fallen in holes, and they have the experience and knowledge of how they manage to pull themselves out of it, so that they can impart that wisdom to small businesses, so that those businesses don't fall in those holes in the first place.
Yeah, look, someone looking forward for them. What would your, in closing, I think we're coming up to our allocated time, and as you know, we've got to get back to our jobs. And what would your plea be to small business owners, firstly, and then to in terms of taking action, and secondly to some of those partner organisations, the government, about supporting small business right now?
Yeah. So in the first instance, first of all, if you're in a small business, well done. That's a gutsy effort, and you are worthy of whatever support can be given. Secondly, recognise that you don't know everything and that you can't possibly know everything. And even if you do, that there are things that you as the boss or the owner of the business should pass on to other people to do. Thirdly, surround yourselves with experts. Now, whether that be through SBMS or any of the other agencies and networks around the place, that by surrounding yourself with experts, you're widening your breadth of knowledge. You should also be looking to upskill, particularly during times of like this, where you have an opportunity or some time to upskill and learn some new skills online. And lastly, my plea to government is to remember that the line, a small business is the engine room of the economy, is not just a line within a speech. It is a reflection of the lives and livelihoods of so many people across Australia, and they absolutely need whatever support through tax, through regulation reform, through support through single touch payroll, through all of those sort of areas. There is an absolute need for government to make small business priority one in regrowing the economy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. In regional areas, attracting a couple of new businesses can be done quickly, and it can be done more easily than waiting for a large corporate to make a decision over many, many years. David, it's been really interesting hearing both your personal experience as an owner, which I'm sure the listeners would value and welcome, and also the role that Small Business Mentoring Service and the Small Business Institute play in supporting small businesses and micro businesses, virtually across the country now. So congratulations on all that. Thank you for your time, and I'll look forward to joining you next week back in the other chair as co-host.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Michael.
Good on you, David. Well, that was my very interesting chat with my co-host turned interviewee, David Gregory, CEO of the Small Business Mentoring Service. As you can tell, very committed and passionate about supporting small businesses across the country. Been an interesting period. I don't like that term interesting, but let's call it that for what it is, particularly the last 3 to 4 months. And the objective of this show is to share wisdom and insights and tips from people that know about small business. So I just wanted to recap for the last couple of minutes on a couple of things that we think need to be reinforced. I think a call to arms for all small business owners to do what you need to do, and that communicate, seek out support, whether it be personally or for the business. It is tough running a small business, but the rewards are there, and the opportunities to build a micro business or a small business, they're all legitimate. You just got to do what you want to do, but also make sure you get the right support. So particularly for owners to also communicate more broadly to those with power and influence. We're talking about your local government and federal government, state government, anybody that will listen. Have a chat to them and talk to them about why small business is so important to a vibrant and strong economy. Dave and I both think that it's the key to our path forward out of this environment we find ourselves in. So you're all champions for being in small business. So keep telling people that. We also know that there's challenges and issues. reach out and get help. Particularly, there was a couple of things that we thought were worth reinforcing. You heard from David, there's a lot of support available, but let's talk about a couple of things. I'm going to pick 3 things. The best place to go, and the other partner organisation that David referenced was the Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman's Office, Kate Carnell. They are doing a power of work to support small businesses across a range of issues, and there are many. If you wanted to pick a few, let's make 150K asset write-off permanent. Let's talk about simplifying employee awards for small business owners and the awards that govern their employees in the businesses and the industries they're in. Mind-blowingly complex and easy to trip up and make mistakes. So that's an example of something that can be easily simplified. With single-touch payroll coming in or already in for many business owners, there's a lot that mechanism or that tool can be used for besides just reporting on your payroll obligations. We think there's a bunch of other reporting requirements for business owners that can be incorporated into the single touch payroll facility. So there's a couple of things. Certainly go out there and talk proudly about your small business. Get the support you want. Follow Australian Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman and the issues they're pursuing. Amongst other things, in recent times they've been going after large corporates for paying small business owners on time, and that's it's been an unbalanced relationship for a long time. So we endorse and we need more people to jump on that bandwagon. So the key for you small business owners is to keep doing what you do, be proud of it, get support, and we are all in this together, especially in regional areas. Small business is more than that one business. It connects the community. It reinforces each other's businesses. So let's look beyond also your own business, make it viable, but also think about the rest of the businesses that form that community, that local economy. So that's all for today's episode of Small Business Banter. David and I continue to be inspired by bringing you small business experts and hearing your stories. For any of the links, resources or information we've talked about on the show today, or to contact David or I, please head over to smallbusinessbanter.com. And David and I would love you to tune in at the same time next week for another episode of Small Business Banter.